back to another episode of the Rightsy Executive Interview Series, where we interview C-suites and executives of different online recruitment marketplaces and learn a little bit about them, their companies, and industry insights. Today we are at Jobboards Connect in London, United Kingdom. We are having a great time, and our next guest is Mr. Martin Lenz of JobIQO. How are you, brother?
Hey, nice. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's good to see you, man. We've been at RecBuzz, TA Tech, now Jobboards Connect. Finally, I got you on an interview.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. And thanks for hunting me. It's good.
Of course, man. It's about persistence, right?
Yeah.
Never giving up.
It's very important in our industry.
Sure, 100%. So why don't you tell the people, what do you do? What's your role at JobIQO, and what is JobIQO?
Yeah. So JobIQO is a job board software provider. So we originated in building job boards all across the globe. So we work mostly with newspapers, publishers, associations, universities that want to run career marketplaces and job boards, mainly to drive revenue. So we help them to drive revenue. And over time, we also built out more products around that. So we also built a programmatic solution, which basically allows you to acquire traffic across all channels in a very intelligent way. So we have all the AI algorithms in there, and we optimize it for our clients to stay competitive.
Nice.
And we also built our own search and match technology. So you can also use our search and match technology as a service. If you want to build your platform yourself, you can also use that.
Oh, nice. How long have you been in this industry?
We've been in this industry now for 12 years.
Okay.
And the original, the founder already started running job boards in 2005. So actually 19 years.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Have you always been in the online recruitment space?
Me personally not. So I'm a computer scientist by trade. So
Okay.
I was actually a developer, and I was actually building parts of the software back in 2008, before we really became a software company.
Yes.
And I was working at Accenture, which is a large consultancy across the world. And I was doing a lot of IT transformation at the time. And I was, interestingly, also working in the government and labor market space. So
Okay.
I was learning a lot, working with the big agencies across the world, how they help people to find employment. So it was just the main step was going towards advertising, right? So it was not, I was already very familiar with matching and matching demand and supply. But the advertising space, that was new 7 years ago when I joined. And I love it. So I love the players around. I love the services that were built over the last years. So it's really exciting.
And now your role is what?
Yeah, I'm CEO of the company. So I was one of the late investors of the company. So
Okay.
it was already in place. It was already running for 6 or 7 years.
Uh-huh.
And I joined at that time, 2017. So I was one of the investors, and I took over the CEO role to grow the business globally.
That's awesome. That's kind of like me. I was Rightsy's first angel investor.
Oh, really? Okay.
And then now I'm their creative director.
Yeah, now you're here.
Yes, awesome. So what are some of the things that JobIQO is doing to differentiate themselves from some of your competitors?
Yeah, absolutely. So JobIQO has always been a very flexible software provider. So we are usually aiming to providing the leading technology. And that's why most of the clients started with JobIQO, because we were the only ones providing that edge of flexibility to really help them with their business models and to differentiate. There's a lot of players around, and there's a lot of solutions that look quite similar or are focused maybe on other business models. We were always focused on driving innovation and helping our customers to differentiate. So that helps them to drive revenues, because our industry is very competitive.
Sure.
And I don't need to tell you anything about that, but no matter in which country you go, so we are now running clients in 20 countries globally.
Congrats.
It's very competitive everywhere, and it's different everywhere. It's a very fragmented market, so you need to be able to provide a specific solution for each market.
What are you guys doing to differentiate yourselves?
Yeah. So one part of that is the flexibility. Another part is really work closely with our customers.
Okay.
So we want to understand what are the big pain points that our customers have. And our customers are the publishers that basically run the job boards. And one of the big topics is always, how do you get candidates to your site, and how do you engage and re-engage candidates?
Huge pain point.
Yeah, and there's many things that are important. You need to know how you acquire traffic. You need to know how to do things like search engine optimization, that you get the free traffic. And as we know, Google changes their algorithms all the time, so it's like always like running after.
Sure.
And but it's also about like how the search and match works, because if you don't provide the relevant content on your site for the user, they will churn. And the overall user experience is also very important. So the majority of users is using the service on mobile, so it's mobile first. So
Gotcha.
you need to be able to engage and convert the user and especially the candidate on your mobile phone. Otherwise, they will, if they don't understand how to use the platform within 2 seconds,
They're
they're
done.
gonna leave.
What about increasing the overall candidate experience? Would you say that that's important?
Yeah, that's absolutely important. And I would say we have a candidate first solution. And the challenge with that is that most of our clients are very much focused on the sales side, which is great because it's about generating revenue with your employer customers. But you very easily forget the most important ingredient on that, and that's the candidate. So you have all this data around the world of candidate, like how you can increase candidate engagement. You see where the users are churning. So you need to take advantage of that. And I think this will become more and more relevant because looking back like 10 years ago, it was enough just to have it online, right? So
Correct.
customers just wanted to see it online, like they saw it in print. Now you can measure everything. You
It
can
was
measure.
employer focused.
It was employer focused, right? So now you can measure the performance. Now employers will ask you, what's the performance of this ad? Because they get a better performance on your competitor's side or on competitor service. And this is what we want to help our customers, first of all, to understand that they need to look at that.
Sure.
And second of all, how they can optimize it by leveraging technology. Because technology is the solution. It's not where you start the game, but if it's a blocker and if you're not able to optimize it, it becomes a problem.
And so are you guys providing solutions that are candidate focused as well, like both candidates and employer focused? What are some of those solutions that you are providing your clients?
Yeah, good question. So we would consider ourselves to be a B2B2C solution provider. So actually our customers are businesses that make money with the job boards. And they sell to employers,
Right.
but they need to address candidates. So they need to get candidates on the site. So we
important.
always need to keep in mind our customers and the need of our customers, which run the job boards.
Yes.
So they use the back end and the analytics, and they want to optimize it and they want to sell. Then we have the employers, which need to be happy with the experience, like how the job ad looks like and how the performance is going. Very important. And then we have the candidate. And the candidate, I think, is usually the one that everybody looks at the least, but it should be the one that you look at the most. Because it's
No
actually,
candidates,
yeah.
you have no
But
business.
it's very hard to translate it. Like for employers, it's very hard to understand what does a customer experience, candidate experience mean. So why is it so important how the job board works, how they drive traffic, and that you don't redirect like 5 times until you finally add up in an ATS system and you need to fill out another 5 forms. So like it's terrible, right? But it's my experience is many recruiters are not digital marketeers, and they're also not IT professionals. So it's a very human business, and you need to explain it on a human level and explain why, like step by step, why performance matters more.
Would you say jobs need to be relevant?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it's not just about matching jobs with as many candidates, it's about matching the right candidate with the right job and making sure that that job is relevant to that candidate.
Yeah, and this is where the matching and the search comes into play. So it really needs to be relevant. So otherwise you have a lot of spam traffic, and you may have accidental spam traffic because you may clickbait people in clicking on apply, right? And this is like what nobody wants to have.
But the
You
user
pay for a
experience goes
click,
down.
yeah, the user experience goes down. And it's not an easy game because you want to keep the volume high. So you want to get the traffic in, but you still want to make it relevant. So it's not an easy equation to solve, but it's solvable.
How do you balance that?
Yeah, how do we balance that? So first of all, we provide solutions that ease our customers to do that. So like we provide machine learning classification of jobs, so it's easier for us to automatically understand what's actually on the job content. It's easier for us to
Serve it to the candidate.
to serve it to the candidate in the right way.
Okay.
So we also offer different ways of how you can visualize the job ad. So like in the UK or in the US, everything is text-based. In Germany or in Switzerland, Austria, for example, it's a lot about like how the job ad looks. So it's more like a design job ad. And so there's different levels of what employers, how they want to see the job, but also how the candidates experience that.
So being that you're a global company,
Yeah.
and cultures, the way countries do business is very different, just like you just said,
Yeah.
from UK just to Germany,
Yeah.
or from the US to, Africa or wherever, right? How does JobIQO, and I know you keep saying JobIQO, but it's
Yeah.
easier for me to say JobIQO. How do you guys like keep up with all of that? Like
Yeah.
that's not an easy thing to do. It's
Yeah.
tough
Yeah.
enough just to work with one
Yeah.
country. How do you guys maintain that?
It's definitely not an easy task, and one of the ways you can do it is find the right focus. And it's like really we limit our focus on a couple of key markets, which is the UK, the US, and the German-speaking market. Everything else is we have a lot of inbound, so that's why we are growing across many countries,
Gotcha.
like as you said, Africa, even Australia, New Zealand, etc., etc. But in terms of our outbound strategy and the product strategy, we consider ourselves as tech, so Germany, Austria, Switzerland, UK, and US. And that makes it a little easier. And the fun part of it is you see a lot of trends coming from the US, going to the UK, and then finally coming to Germany. And you may think, okay, that happens in 2 years, but it actually sometimes happens over 10 years.
Oh wow.
So and there's trends that never come to Germany, for example, and it's like it's very interesting for our customers to when we get into conversations and say, well, look at this could work for you. So we kind of try to find a hybrid approach of
Okay.
filtering out the right things and removing the things that we think they are not
Don't
relevant.
matter.
Like redirecting 5 times until you get to the job is probably not the way to go.
Sure, sure. Um, who is your guys' ideal customer?
Yeah, yeah. So our ideal customer are companies that already have an audience. So this is typically publishers, newspapers, associations, professional associations, but even universities and nonprofit organizations. So these are typical customers. They already have an audience. Ideally, they're focused on a certain region or a certain industry vertical or both. So it
Okay.
can even be hyper niche, like you're like specialized on AI engineering, whatever,
it is,
right?
right.
So the more narrow you have your audience, the better, because you can easier differentiate on the site. So we provide a very easy management of so-called taxonomies. So that allows you to represent the job board to make it super relevant or hyper relevant for your audience.
Nice.
So making it hyper relevant for your audience is helping our customers to differentiate and to create more relevance and to make it easier to target. But if you want to go big, you usually go regional. So you say, okay, I want to become a big job board in Germany, or I want to become a big job board in UK. So you need to cover all the verticals, like all the industries, and you go on a regional base.
More horizontal.
Yeah, and then it's harder. Like some industries will work and some not. Some roles are easier to staff, some less, and then you kind of evolve across that.
What's your largest market share? What country?
Our largest market share is in Germany, and our second largest is in UK.
And you're based where?
We are based out of Austria, in Vienna. So we have 90% of our business is international,
Okay.
and our first 10 customers were international customers.
Nice.
But it was actually all the team and the knowledge was growing out of Austria.
Yeah.
So we now have people in the company with 20 different backgrounds, like national backgrounds.
Very diverse.
Very diverse, lots of languages. We all talk English and German, so it's kind of easy to communicate.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of why we create great solutions. It's because of the diversity.
I was gonna ask you that. Do you think that the diversity is what makes you guys successful?
Yeah, absolutely. And we don't even believe that this is part of how we hire to get the diversity into our team, so to provide the best solutions. We also investigate a lot into creating non-biased solutions. So we do research on that, because now clients get more and more afraid of AI. Like AI is everywhere, but everywhere you read about what can happen. Like the algorithm gets biased. in the end, the algorithm can never get biased. It's the data that gets biased. And we do a lot of research in investigating how to detect bias and how to create like a diverse solution.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, what anything that Rightsy can do for you guys, we're always here to help you guys. We'd love to, potentially partner with you guys in the future. We appreciate you coming and doing this interview. Please let everybody know how they can find you, where can they find your company, how can they find you online.
Absolutely.
Please let them know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you can find JobIQO if you go to JobIQO.com. You can find a lot of relevant content like our job board model playbook. You go to JobIQO/playbook. Or you find our white paper about job board strategy. It's JobIQO/strategy. If you are interested in white label software for job boards or programmatic job advertising or AI-enabled search and match technology, go to JobIQO.com and reach out to us.
That's awesome. And you're on LinkedIn as well?
I'm on LinkedIn as well. Martin Lenz. It's Lenz. It's easy to find me. So
Yes. Well,
just reach out. I'm very active on LinkedIn. Big LinkedIn user.
absolutely. You kind of have to be nowadays, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, well, thank you so much for having this interview. We really
for having me.
appreciate it. Thank you for your insights. Thank you for sharing about your company and what you've been doing. This is another episode of the Rightsy Executive Interview Series. We're live here from London, UK at the Jobboards Connect conference, and we're excited to be here. Make sure you follow us and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this.